Are you tired of working a 9 to 5 that bores you to death? Are you unhappy with where you are now? Would you like to just and find yourself in an exotic destination? Maybe working on cruise ships is for you. Side effects may include, but are not limited to, aching joints, muscles, seasickness, dizziness, insomnia, migraines, elevated stress levels, and a caffeine addiction.
All jokes aside, we have had an amazing contract.
We're Demi and Mickey, and for the past 2 years we've been crew members on board cruise ships. So far we've travelled to 16 countries, but our biggest dream is to visit them all. Tag along and see if we get it right.
Started a little bit before the ship when we got the email that cruises are finally starting back up again.
It is now 10 p.m. and we just got the email that we've been waiting a year and a half for. We're finally going back to work.
And we got our visas as soon as we could, hopped on a flight and went over to the States. Now when you usually get to the ship, it's chaos. But this time, it was chaos times 10. We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if we were going to be able to get off the ship at all. We didn't know anything. We knew that we were going to have like our vaccines and all that, but we didn't know when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and it was crazy.
So when we got on board, we had to quarantine for 10 days. And luckily it was like a balcony room, a guest cabin, so it was...
The first 2 months we could not get off the ship. Due to all the COVID regulations and everything, we were stuck on board and I got cabin fever, it's a real thing.
And our TV didn't work, that was the worst.
When we were finally able to get off the ship, our first port was Cozumel. Now, we were only allowed to get off in the port area, but at least we could get our legs on solid ground. Then we got full clearance, so we had the time of our lives exploring Mexico. We went to Progreso, we went to Costa Maya, Cozumel, we saw cenote and raccoons.
Had good tacos.
We had amazing tacos and food, and horchata. I love it. But let's get to ship life. Like just as itself. So we spent 155 days at sea. Some days we work 14 hours and some days we only work 8.
6 to 8.
And life on board isn't always easy. There are a lot of perks working on the ships, and especially in our department. We work a full 12 to 14 hours on the days that we are at sea, and then we work between 6 and 8 on our ports of call. We do get that little bit of time off where we can explore the ports, so we're working between 6 and 8, but it's only in the evening, so you still have the day to explore. But then you gotta kind of choose whether you want to sleep or whether you want to get off the ship. Our department also has something called guest privileges, which means we can pretty much be anywhere on the ship except for the pool. We can eat in the guest areas, we can lounge in the guest areas with a name badge on, and like obviously just professional.
But we were restricted now with COVID. Like only
we were restricted to
certain time.
Before COVID, we could go anytime. Yeah. For a lot of people working on the ships, it's an escape because we're on our own little bubble. There's no news, there's not a lot of media, it's pretty much just whatever happens on the ship. It's a perfect little like drama-free environment. And we love it that way. Our mornings always start the same.
Coffee.
It's like my favorite thing ever. We have our coffee and then we either get off the ship or we have a full day of work ahead of us. This contract has been great. We've been exploring Mexico on its own. Next contract will be different. Every contract is different unless you're on the same ship. If we do get off on a port day, we try and be back around an hour before back on board so that we get a little bit of time to nap, because sleep is precious when you work on a ship. Sleep and rest, very needed. And it probably sounds boring, like I know every vlog we've done has been like nap, 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 but at the end of the day, that's how you cope with the workload. So our shift always ends at 11:30. 11:30, our department closes, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're done. Sometimes we finish
12.
way after that, sometimes even 1.
Yeah, it didn't happen a lot of times. But
Not a lot, but
mostly,
it does happen.
Mostly 12.
Most days we usually get to the cabin around 12:15, and then we usually go to the gym. It's actually a little bit more than what I think. It's like every third day we rest. So we go to gym, and then we rest, which is actually pretty good now that I think about it, especially for the hours that we work. The food on board is great for the first 2 weeks,
But it's the same.
and then you kind of just don't want to eat it anymore because it's
Pretty much the same over and over.
the same thing every day. Depending on what ship you're on, some ships have a really good variety of food, some don't. But at the end of the day, food is free. You can eat as much as you like. It's a buffet. We usually eat out a lot, especially when we were in Mexico. We had a lot of tacos and tortas. But this contract has been wonderful. But at the same time, it's been the strangest contract we've ever had. The rules and regulations are constantly changing. They change on a daily, weekly basis. And because of COVID, we haven't known what to expect when it comes to anything.
It was strange, but it was good. We had a good team.
We were lucky to have such an amazing contract. It is hard work, but at the same time, it's amazing. We're in South Africa now, but it takes a long time to get to SA. We had one 9-hour flight and one 11-hour flight to get home. If we do get off on a port day, we